tomorrow or something at this time, but I just don't think there's going to be. So that is our plan. Anyways, we're going to go into Ryung versus Creator. As you can see on your screen there in-game, Creator is spawning bottom left as the blue Protoss player. And he is going up against the red Terran player. It is Ryung coming into the top right-hand side of Daybreak here. So Ryung looking to see what he can get up to as he looks to go 3-0 in this group. Creator, his first match in this group. Let's see how he is going to be able to perform. Now, Creator is... I mean, I look at this actually, like, Creator is very, very good lately, actually. The last few times I've seen him play, his PvP has been stellar, taking down players like Classic and Stats, in late lane cups and so on, in qualifiers. That said, it was in PvP, so he doesn't have any PvP in this group. He's got, well, he does, he's got Jim to play against, right? So, I mean, that's nice, but his main match here is going to be against Ryung, and this match could really be the one that counts, so let's see what happens. I mean, it'll be interesting. I feel these two players are, I feel Creator especially very unknown right now, kind of how good he is, so I guess we'll see. But I think what I want to say really is that, you know, whoever wins this is very likely to take first place in the group. Obviously, if Ryung wins this, then he's already guaranteed first place. If Creator wins this, then he just has to beat Jim and Sleep to confirm that he will finish in first place in the group. So, yeah, I feel as though it's a pretty decent sort of idea. That, yeah, I think it's going to be decent. Yeah, I like it. I think it's going to be a good match, and it'll be interesting to see how it turns out. Both players with decent chances as well, I would say. So, intrigued. Replay expand here early on from Ryung. Creator has put down the Nexus. I mean, nothing really too much going on in the super early stages. Just watching this and seeing where we end up. Factory's coming up. I mean, we obviously just saw a little bit of TvP from Ryung, so we did see him pulling some Widowmine drops in both games 1 and... Not game 1. In game 1, he got cheesed out before he could really do anything. But game 2 and 3, he was going for those Widowmine-based drops with Marines inside as well, so we get a bit of an idea as to how Ryung has been playing this matchup. That's something we can sort of look towards. You know, we can look at that and be like, okay, so that's how he's been doing this and that, and gives us a bit of an idea. So it's just some information for us as we do see this Reaper continuing to move around. Ryung just continue to scout out, trying to find a probe or so, but the way he's rallied, I don't think he's going to be able to find this. So I think he's rallied to go, yeah, straight to the third base, unless he clicks around. He's checking the corners, but not the right corner, so that probe stays around. That's just a little bit of a nuisance. I mean, it just means Creator has that little bit of extra presence on the map, which Ryung would like to deny and just like to have peace of mind. You know, if you find a probe especially, you're like, oh man, nice. Now I know it's not building anything. Whereas if the probe's still out there, I mean, you might not know. It's, you know, it might be out there, it might not be. It's just something you've got to keep in mind. That is a possibility. I mean, there's always so many possibilities to kind of think about in StarCraft 2. Then you have to sort of just sit back and go, you know, it's nice if you can eliminate a possibility and worry about one less thing. So, here we go, though. Anyways, we do see this medevac is coming in through the top side of the map here. So, a Widowmine, 6 Marines inside, going to be going all the way over towards maybe even the third base. He might just try and kill off the third base here and force a cancel or something. It's got potential. He will fly past the third base to see it, whether he actually goes in or not. He might just go towards the natural to begin with. Yeah, he's just going to go straight to the natural. However, a pylon's going to be around here pretty soon. He'll drop out of range of this pylon, actually, so he's able to trade quite nicely. 6 workers killed. Wow. Well, that's actually a lot of damage done by this first Widowmine. As across the map, this Oracle doesn't pick up a single kill yet as he goes in towards the natural. He will start to do some damage. The Marines will be quick to start to follow up in the medevac, though, and they will push this away. An SCV and a mule killed, a fairly fresh mule as well, killed off here as the Revelation comes in from the second Oracle. Widowmine goes down. Medevac will lift, and we'll head towards the main base. We'll probably actually just sit in the bottom left for a while, wait for Revelation to go away. And as the Revelation disappears, then he can sort of strike in at a bit more of a kind of a random timing, a timing his opponent isn't expecting. Maybe just try and catch Creator off guard and get a little bit more damage done as we see this Oracle. Just going to sit far right side, continue to move around, see what he can get up to right now. See what sort of direction he may be able to start going in, as we're going to see this robot facility is about halfway done right now, so we're still about halfway done. There's that drop coming back in. Actually, a Phoenix came out to start shutting it down, so it got forced to drop in, which obviously isn't able to do too much more. As we're going to see a couple of Widowmines in the natural, but only picking up a couple of workers at most. Not really too much damage done, so this next medevac also not doing a lot, and actually will not really be able to get away either. Phoenix should be able to chase this down. And there it is, Medevac going to get caught, has to unload the Marines. Medevac goes down. It means the power of Stargate-based openings. They're so good at actually shutting down this early aggression, so pretty pretty sweet as we're going to be seeing these Marines just continue to move forwards. Walking past that probe. This probe was very lucky. First the Reaper doesn't find it for ages, then the Marines leave it alone. Now he's going to pull back, realize that his opponent has recognized there's Marines are nearby and that he has pulled the probe away. So probe staying alive and sitting on the watchtower now as Creator sits on 3 bases fairly comfortably. Has cleaned up a lot already so far in this game and continues to look good right now as we're just going to be seeing the reactor coming in on the factory. So reactor coming in on the factory and we're just going to be seeing the Stimpack and combat shields as well on the way up. 5 racks in total for Ryung. No sign of a third command center, so really going to apply some pressure in this game. Going to just apply pressure and just keep on applying pressure is his goal right now. So sign up in towards this, but Oracle's going towards the main. 2 Oracles at a time means that he picks off workers super quick. 5 workers go down in the blink of an eye, and it's just damage for Ryung. Just sort of has to accept at this point. The Oracle's on the map. If he doesn't have a way to shut them down, then they're just going to keep on dealing damage like that. As we see 2 Cyclones added on. Very interesting addition now. I mean, when you sort of look at this army, I mean, what are 2 Cyclones going to add to it? Well, he's actually going to really keep adding Cyclones on. So we're going to play Cyclones with the bio. Very interesting way to play. I have no idea how this is going to turn out. I really don't. 2 more Cyclones building as we speak. So, I mean, we've seen Widow Mines, we've seen tanks as a mixture of bio in the past. We've seen 4 sometimes too as well against like Lane Bay Muta and so on. But this, Cyclones, obviously this is very different from any sort of StarCraft we've seen in a long time. So, I'm very intrigued to see how this ends up as we see this next 2 Cyclones finishing. 4 of them in total now on the map, and they're going to start moving on to the map, see what they can get done. The rock's going to start going down. Nice little spot of the Stasis Ward here. A few Marines will stim forwards and clean that out nice and quickly. One less thing for him to worry about as he gets ready to engage here in the very near future. His 3rd CC is on the way up, by the way, so he's getting into a 3rd base. It is just much later than he might have originally expected. As, again, Marines and Cyclones gathering up together, so I guess they're going to get set to go. I mean, there's a good mixture of Adepts, Stalkers. There isn't a Resonating Glares, right? There's no upgrades at all, in fact, on any of these Gateway units. So here we go. +1 will obviously help out a lot in this. As there's a Colossus out, that will help too as Marines continue to move forwards, but there's just too much from Creator. And Creator's able to push this back, just able to sort of defend this location. And Ryung sort of thinks about what he wants to do next. I mean, does he continue to move in this direction? Does he continue to, split up and just stim into this 3rd base or into this natural? Or does he have another plan? Well, I'm not too sure. Marines trying to fight once again as see a lot of these Adepts starting to go down in the front. As the Adepts disappear, there's access to that Colossus made available. Doing a little bit of damage to it. Phoenix is going to lift up one of the Cyclones here. Widow Mines will get rid of 2 Phoenix in the sky in a very dramatic way. Blowing those up right in front of us. So that's pretty crazy to see. I'm just going to back off though. Hasn't really done what he wanted to do here, I don't think, which is really try and kill the pros. I mean, maybe he did do what he wanted to do, which is just trade out. Which is not a bad idea either, but still intrigued by the addition of the Cyclones. I mean, he's obviously stopped doing that now. He's only got the 1 left over at this point, and he's moved that factory away from a reactor. He's actually building a 2nd starport on it, and he begins Liberator production. So, we'll probably actually go into some Vikings as well. As I said, it's already started some up, so Vikings are on the way. And that's obviously to deal with the Colossi, which are coming into play out of Creator. So, as Creator goes up to 3 to 4 Colossi, hits that critical mass where this composition is very powerful. It's very important that Ryung gets as many Vikings as possible ASAP so they can really push these Colossus away, really minimize the amount they can just stick around in the engagements, because you need to make sure that they are not around for the entirety of an engagement. If they are, they're going to do way too much splash damage throughout, and then you find yourself in a very tough position to play from as the Terran player because you've just lost so much of the Colossus damage. So getting those Vikings up is important. It helps to zone them out, it helps to push them away. I was just obviously just kill them in general, but that's what I mean by pushing them away, forcing them to pull back if they're low health, or just taking them out of the engagement completely by killing. I mean, we all know how Vikings against Colossi work. I don't really need to say much more, but yeah. Nexus coming down top left. 2 more pylons going to be on the way up as well next to this Nexus, so that's starting to happen too, as Marines and Marauders will all just gather up together. We're going to start targeting down these rocks, so let's go start targeting these down and yeah, open up the map just a little bit more once again. So, open up the map once more. Revelation comes down over towards this 3rd base. Did the Oracle just die? No, Oracle's still around. It looks to die because that just happened. Did he just lose one when it flew in here? The low health one? Might have done. No, doesn't have a kill. Alright, I'm just going crazy. That's also a pretty decent explanation of this. Wardy's just going crazy. I mean, yes, that works too. Adept's going to shade in towards this third base. We see Marines and Marauders going to try and clean those Adepts out. So Adept's going to take a little bit more damage. Psystorm is about 10 seconds from finishing, so Creator really get into a very strong army composition now. Clawsight and Psystorm. But I mean, so is that Terran player. A few ghosts on the way. And as these ghosts get added into the composition as well, we're going to be able to see now Ryung with a Viking ghost composition. A couple of Liberators to help zone as well. And this game is starting to go into kind of the later stages of the TvP, where compositions and engagements become so important and so difficult to control. It'll be interesting to see who has the better control between the two players. Clawsight going to get a little bit of tickling damage done on towards that Cyclone before the Stalkers blink forwards and pick up the kill. Still as Bioforce looking to see what else is going on. There's still a little bit of a group of units down here, and it doesn't look as though they found much chance of doing anything. Maybe Phoenix picking off the medevac or something. Either way, the rest of these units are just going to gather up with the main army now, and actually Creator very out of position. He's still pushing. I mean, both players are in the same position. It just depends who pushes forwards first, and for all the time Creator's been positioning, he looks as though he's about to move forwards there, but it's actually going to be our Terran player moving in. 2-3 Immortals. Well, I think he'll take that any day, as we see a feedback going down on the Ghosts, I think, to begin with. The Immortals don't actually die here. Here we go. Bigger stim coming in now. The Liberators are going to stay and fight in the skies against the Colossi. Vikings helping too, kiting away from those storms as well. The Vikings doing a really good job here, getting rid of the Colossi. And Ryung, for the most part, split away from those storms quite nicely. So that went quite well for him, splitting away from those storms. But Creator still has a lot of army on the ground and pushing forwards here. He has a lot of potential. Vikings are going to land to help out with anything they can at this point. 2 more Liberators on the way as more upgrades continue to roll on in for our Terran player 3-3. And there's a decent chunk of the way along, about a minute long, so he'll maintain an upgrade lead for a little while longer in the game. And Cross player has been behind on upgrades for the majority of this so far, as we'll see Stalkers, High Templar, Immortals, and Sentries all coming up towards this north side. And Oracle just going to move into position 2. This War Prism going to move over towards the main base. So War Prism towards the main base, and again, these few Adepts actually find those medevacs, do they? Single High Templar gets warped in. That's not enough just yet. One High Templar is definitely not enough. Scan there. Ryung will probably say, cool, well, I'll sacrifice one of these medevacs because it's just the way it's going to be. One full medevac goes down, but he'll get the rest of the units in towards the base. So the big drop comes in towards the main as he targets down a pylon straight away. And already starting to do a decent amount of damage. I can see the Mothership Core going down as well. Pulls these medevac away from the next High Templar. Doesn't want another one of these medevacs to get hit by the feedback, because that would be very expensive. And then he moves away. So a little bit of damage done, not too much again. Some more depth somewhere on the map, killing off a few SCVs at the same time. And still some more units just gathering together for Ryung in this position. Going to find these Adepts down here as well if he's paying attention. You can drop off onto these and just clean them up. I mean, it's free pickings for him, right? As a couple of probes going down, it's the Liberator starting to be annoying up to the top left base. So the fourth base of our Protoss being harassed slightly. And both players beginning to max out once again. Now, the last big fight, I would generally say, was very well approached by our Terran player, but it did seem to go the way of the Protoss. So, is this next fight going to be any different? Well, that's what we're going to be finding out in the next few moments as we have Vikings continue to gather together. Ghosts underneath this Liberate back in position on the top left side and picking off a few more probes. 5 workers killed from that, so Liberate is really having a pretty great time. Charge shots now coming into play as well. We'll see if we have to see some of those being introduced to the composition. It'll be interesting to see the new charge in play as well, obviously. As we're going to be seeing a few more of these units just gathering up together and getting ready to go once more as Liberate just finally get cleaned out to this top side. It takes a lot of time though, and it does cost a lot too. A few stalks going down in the process. 4 Liberate is going to be used in the middle of this choky map to really push forward the Terran army. So this is really nice. Ryung playing to the map's advantages, which are on his side. You see the Vikings kiting away. The first 2 disruptor shots don't connect on anything. Now the Terran player can commit in much more easily. Big EMPs as well. Look at the amount of damage he's done. Just so many of those units on the ground by taking away their shields. That's absolutely huge here. We'll see a few more Stalkers warping in as well. And the Fire Forces getting ready to go again. Storm from the High Templars on the Watchtower is going to be deadly. I mean, the thing is, the Ryung should sort of see that. You see the blink forwards, Liberators will go down. Disruptor shot into the center is big, and another Disruptor shot actually just falls short. Doesn't continue forwards with that. Another Disruptor shot, though, gets a good chunk of units. And these players are trading blows in the center of the map. Ryung and Creator really going the distance already here in game number 1. We expected this to be the match of the group, and so far it is delivering. 16 minutes in, And it's impossible to tell who is going to take the victory in this right now, as both players are just really bringing it to each other, really just slugging it out right at this point. Big engagements, both players taking these big engagements, which are just going so evenly. 1k resource loss difference isn't too much at this stage of the game. As you see, a sense time, the center map gets taken down. A couple of liberate shots are going to be doing a lot here. I'm not sure about this fight from Creator. The disruptors don't really connect, and the liberators do so much damage in the meantime, but that's a big disruptor shot to kind of follow up with. A ghost and a good chunk of bio goes down throughout this. And man, Ryung is going to have to be careful of those disruptors. They are really bringing the pain to him right now, so has to be a little bit cautious. We'll see. Pro's player going to go from a different angle. Has been going through the center for the last few moments, but maybe through the right-hand side will be a little bit more successful. Vikings are once again on the ground, ready to help this ground-based army. There's more Colossi on the way, but I mean, there's still way too many Vikings at this point. There's even less now. Maybe that'll help out. Maybe you should keep some of these at this point. Now there's only going to be, there's going to be 3 less Vikings. That was a nice disruptor shot. And that's the thing, these disruptors are very efficient so far, actually. This one, he hasn't killed much, neither has this one. This one's got 10 kills, and this one, he has 5. I mean, they're expensive units they're picking off, though. When they hit Ghosts, especially, those are very expensive pickups. We see a big drop go towards the main base of the Protoss player. This is huge because, I mean, you can see how far the position the Protoss player is. His main army right in the center of the map, slash the right-hand side. It's very far away. We're going to see a big stim forwards. Actually going to pull this Protoss army back to the right a little bit. Does get 2 High Templar for the trade as well. And here we go. He's going to find a Colossus moving out onto the map. He's going to drop on top of this. This Colossus will go down straight away. And High Templar comes in from the high ground and I think hits an EMP onto, or feedback onto a Ghost. High Templar will storm from the high ground too. Sits in these storms. Ryung. Big mistakes, because those are kind of storms he does not want to be eating. And he loses a lot of units and didn't really gain that much. Kills the Colossus, kills a pylon or 2, but really, again, not as much as he should have got done here. As a Warp Prism getting pushed away as well. Ryung continuing to defend on the right side of the map, not letting this Warp Prism do too much towards his own bases. Wants to minimize that sort of damage, of course. And as we'll be seeing him, or Creator now, going to the south side. A couple of Stalkers here working their way through this command center. SCVs will pull towards the center of the map, so SCVs pulling towards the centers, they just have to evacuate this bottom side base. Roads will come in, and that'll be the end of those 2 Stalkers. A couple of Stalkers getting cleaned out, and still at this point, Ryung moving around with a lot of medevacs. Protoss player moving around through the center of the map with the main army. A couple more High Templar coming into play. I mean, one of these medevacs still on high energy, 2 of these medevacs on high energy still. In fact, a bunch of them are. Sorry, I thought they were not on high energy, but they actually just were full energy, so the damage bars weren't showing. I'm going to see DT coming towards to try and help defend this. Is there a scan available? Well, apparently not, otherwise he would have used it already. But the feedback's just very effective right now, as we see. Base down here getting cancelled, and this is also such a classic Daybreak game, I guess, where both players are in positions where they just can't really engage each other because it means fighting into a position which is just so one-sided to your opponent that you don't want to be doing it. So it's very difficult, much more about harassment moving around the map and slow engagements when it comes to those larger engagements. Not big, rushed, let's fight and split fights. Like, really kind of like, I'm going to wait around and just see what happens sort of fights. Like, a couple of Liberator shots, Vikings will dance with the Colossi, that sort of stuff, as we see. Stalkers, Archons, Disruptors, and Colossus all moving down this bottom right side. This base looks it might have met the end, as a few more SCVs going to go down too. A lot of SCVs actually going down to this south side. So many of them trying to get away, but just not quite going to make it. There's now a 10 players all the way on the other side of the map, so also our Protoss players going to start losing a new base as well. And well, it's going to be base trade time, I guess. I mean, it's sort of weird because both players can sort of turn around super quickly, but the question is, do they want to? Especially right now, they're both sort of fairly central in the map, so if they wanted to, they could, but I think Ryung at this point knows he has to base trade. I think Creator just says, cool, I feel as though I can base trade because I'm a little bit ahead going into it, so an interesting choice from both. I feel as though, I feel like the right choice from Ryung. From Creator, I could understand if he actually pulled back home and just left some DTs or Zealots or something on that right-hand side of the map to deal with the Terran bases. I'm just going to see a Terran player going straight in towards the main base here. Some medefacts, going to evacuate some units, but they don't find those probes. The thing is, actually, with DTs already on the map, that's actually a pretty big deal. With DTs out, it makes life very difficult for the Terran player if he cannot scan with all of his bases, so that actually might be a pretty big issue. He does have a Ghost. Is it only 1 Ghost? 2. They're both in this army, so EMPs can act as kind of detection for a while. EMP and a DT will reveal it, so that will happen. That will act as something for a little while here, as we see High Temple again chased down. A few more probes over in this position. Probes, long distance miners. He sets up a new base in the central top position. Terran player just making sure you can get rid of all of this production. Wants to make sure there's nothing left building for the Protoss. However, you can look at the supplies and there's a 100 supply deficit for our Terran player here, which doesn't really bode well. Protoss is going to go top left already. He's going to start cleaning out some of these Smedevacs, blinking forwards, kicks one of them, takes it down. Some of these Marines will fall as well. I mean, there's just no way. I don't think Ryung can fight this army. He's on 0 SCVs as well, so he's got nothing to play with anymore. Sets up the Liberators. I mean, the Liberators are obviously a way you can change a lot, but Disruptor shots patiently will just pick away at little by little. And eventually, I mean, Creator's going to be mining again anyway. He can rebuild his structures as he just storms there to get rid of some of the health from one of the Liberators. Not the best, but still, it's maybe it's going to be enough. He actually blinks forwards. Now he's going to use the Disruptors to push the bio back while he cleans up the Liberators. Storms come down as well. There's way too much here for Creator, and in 22 minutes, he's going to win Daybreak. What a great game number 1, though, between these two guys. I mean, really drawing it out. Really, such a crazy game number 1. Kind of feels as though Creator always had the game under his control, but it could very quickly, with one good fight, have gone the way of Ryung. You know, with one little decision here or there, could have gone the way of Ryung. So it's pretty crazy. Pretty crazy, guys. We are gonna log out. Who is dying? Is this me? Don't know if that was me or what. That was a little bit weird. Hopefully we're good, though. We didn't drop any frames during that, so I don't know. I don't know, bros. Anyways, top right side, our Blue Protoss player, Creator, is going to be coming in here with a 1-0 advantage. That was his first game of the competition. Let's see if he can start off with a big win in this group so he can look good to maybe advance through in first place. To the bottom left-hand side, the red Terran player. Let's see it, guys, if you're going to be cheering on the Terran, who is really looking to tie the series up. It's Ryung. I feel as though he can do. Actually, I really think Whirlwind is really great for Terran players. There's a lot of really not abusable, but really powerful Liberator positions on this map right now. There's really kind of a lot of dropping potential as well, you know. Left-hand side of Creator's main straight in here. So very similar to Daybreak. But also just more space for the Terran player to sort of run around the Protoss army instead of sort of hitting it head on and sort of reaching a stalemate where neither player really wants to engage on in. So probe from Creator goes top left, and I'm going to pull down towards the bottom left. So, yeah, just some little bits and pieces right now, nothing super crazy though. As this probe continues to move down towards the bottom left-hand side. So probe moves down to the bottom left still. This Marine comes forward and going to start intercepting a few of this probe, and very nearly picks it off, so that's really nice, shutting down the information, because now Creator won't see anything, and yeah, okay, it's an expansion, but it is a factory before the expansion, so it is going to be slightly faster Hellions than usual, and if you can deny Creator from knowing that, it does give you a bit more potential to do a bit more damage. So these Hellions are going to come on up. Stream is dead, apparently. I don't think the stream actually is dead. I think it's just I think it was just like the 2 seconds there where I sort of crashed out at the very start of the game. Sort of killed it. Sorry about that, guys. Again, just a little bit of a hiccup. I don't know what that was, actually, because we didn't drop any frames at that time. So just a little bit of a weird moment, I guess. Do you see 2 Hellions moving across the map? So I don't think you really missed anything if the stream cut out just before. I mean, it was 90 seconds ago, so I guess pointless me saying it now. But anyways, 2 Hellions will move forwards, and they go in towards the natural mineral line. Probe is actually starting to stack up, and Creator's going to have to start splitting these up as Ryung is going to already pick up 3 workers killed for this already. Goes towards the main base now as well, just to pick up some information himself. And he wants to try and find what tech it is. We'll just see the Stargate now, the 3 gateways in total. And so he knows what this is. So perfect scouting by Ryung, sees exactly what's up right now, knows what he's playing against. As we're going to be seeing, the Adepts is still moving around a little bit around the main base. 2 Adepts here in total. And you're going to be seeing this Oracle from Creator going to start heading down towards the bottom left-hand side of the map. So, Oracle of Creator going to head down towards the bottom left. We're going to see this Medevac of Ryung going to head up towards the north to see what it can get up to as well. And Ryung just looking to see what he can achieve here over the next few moments as he begins to drop a little bit here. And Oracle is going to head towards the main base. So Oracle going to head towards the main base and again just jump on in and see if he can get some damage done. I mean, the thing is, Ryung saw this, so it's kind of weird that he doesn't have anything in position, that he sent all these units across the map, because, yeah, actually, this is going to be really bad. I mean, Oracle doesn't do too much, 2 workers killed, but this Widowmine shouldn't do too much either, although he does mess it up a little bit. He will lose Creator. 3 probes, doesn't quite manage to kill it in time, does drop the Revelation. Puts the Medevac with that as well, so he can keep track of that for a little while, which is perfect, of course. So able to keep track of this Medevac, as we're going to be seeing this Oracle still just moving around here. Comes back in, going to pick off 2 more SCVs. A third SCV will go down as well towards the front. And Widowmine is now in position, but Creator knows about it. He's really getting good damage done with these Oracles. Don't actually like this damage onto the supply depot, because it just feels as though it's energy the Oracle could use on workers, even if it is just a little bit later on and he has regained a little bit more. So, not too sure about that, as we're going to be seeing now. Widowmine's going to once again move onto the map with these with this Medevac. So 2 more Widowmines up the left-hand side. I'm going to see what they can get up to here the next few moments. So Ryung again just continuing to pressure. I mean, Marine's going to go up the right-hand side. So again, Ryung with opportunities here to get damage done as he moves in towards the natural. And also the main base, actually, look at this, liberate into the main. So I guess this drop may go towards the third, may go into the main as well. And this drop in the natural, so really just all over the place. He is just out of range of that overcharge. We just run in, Ryung has to be careful. He's sort of multitasking, failing a little bit here as he just sits in this overcharge. Liberate is successful in the main, those 6 kills, as Widowmines will go towards the third. So damage all over the place, Ryung trying to pull Creator apart. This Medevac goes down again, messy from Ryung, honestly. He shouldn't really have lost so much there, as he will unburrow and reburrow this Widowmine. It is going to go off on these probes. One of the probes survives. This Widowmine will try and get away, and actually Oracle will just pick up that kill there, so that's nice. No Revelation, though. This one Widowmine is still left in the mineral line. 45 workers apiece. Ryung definitely starting to make progress with this damage that he's been getting done here, so making some progress. We're going to be seeing Stimpak and Combat Shields coming on up, +1 weapons and armor on the way too. So he's getting towards his mid-game bio play. All of those upgrades starting to come into sync. Was just harassing up until then as he pulls these probes away too late. And his 4 workers still killed. He actually stacked them up a little bit more so there. So that doesn't go too well for Creator either. As we're going to be seeing this Phoenix and this Oracle moving onto the map once again. So these units moving onto the map once more now. And still just looking to see what they can get up to. And as we're going to be seeing the units again just sort of gathering together again. Overall, just looking to see if they can find anything too interesting. We're going to see a Forge on the way up now from Creator. So that's about a finish, as we're going to be seeing these 2 Medevacs from Ryung. They're going to go up to the top side of the map. So 2 Medevacs from Ryung going to go up to the top side. And look to see what else is going on. Is still a Phoenix and an Oracle just down here to the bottom left. And these Medevacs from Ryung just going to fly over the top and over towards the main base of our Protoss player here. So going to fly in towards the main base, and yeah, Ryung looking pretty confident, pretty good right now. A few SCVs coming in towards the third base again, as Marines are going to be dropping on down. Actually, I really like Ryung's position. I feel as though he's getting into a better position as time goes by. Twilight Council will go down. That's going to be no blink to play with anymore. So going to lose his blink upgrade. That's actually pretty huge. An Oracle goes down as well. There's Immortal. There's Mothership Core full of energy. Wow, this drop has been so effective. He'll get rid of the Phoenix maybe still. Just loses that Medevac full of units. He'll drop down here and just try and trade a few more units out. I mean, there's not too much more for him to gain at the very end. So not too much more for him to gain. This Phoenix continuing to move forwards and still trying to pick off this Medevac. As the Oracle trying to chase on in as well. Double Robo Bay being built by Creator. Well, that's a mistake. Just maybe a little bit flustered here. Did he just cancel one of them? He did. So he realizes his mistake. So he fixes it. Finds another probe trying to take a 4th base or so. Yeah, and Ryung just kind of denying and doing some damage here. So, again, I feel on Whirlwind there's just a few more ways for him to attack throughout the game. And that can just help him out so much. And it's sort of what we're seeing right now. So it's sort of what we're seeing right now as we see these units again just getting ready. Positioning themselves. Marines, Marauders, a couple of Widow Mines going to go over to the right hand side of the map, and still just Ryung starting to split his units up. And this is what we're talking about. It's difficult to do this on Daybreak because there's 2 attack paths. On Whirlwind, there's so many ways you can sneak around, find openings, maybe get some damage done. And there's so many different ways you can do this. As we can see another scan coming down right now, and again a few Stalkers, a couple of Sentries and Immortal Colossus joining up here as well. So a lot of these units just gathering up together. Another scan from Ryung. And this time on top of his own army, which is somewhat interesting, as we're going to be seeing the Terran player just moving out. I mean, he might have been scanning maybe he was scanning like an observer or something, I guess, that we just missed. It's always a possibility, of course. Spire forces splitting up a little bit, some to the top side, some to the right. I'm going to see what sort of direction they might be able to go in as Stalkers. Coming to the right side as well. Looking to try and take the 4th base. Will shut down the Widow Mine, which is blocking the probes from building the Nexus there. It's still just a very sort of back and forthy game, but he does actually take down the Oracle as well. Ryung gets rid of that, which gets rid of some of the map control. Does get hit in the Revelation, but as soon as that fades, there's going to be way less vision on the map for Creator as there once was. So definitely even more potential for Ryung to keep moving around the map and to keep on looking for opportunities. You can see he's got like 3 main armies right now. He's got 1, then 1 in the center, and 1 in the north. Still also, again, adding in some of these Cyclones. The 4 Cyclones once more. Very intrigued as to what the kind of thought process is behind these 4 Cyclones. Scan comes down. He does see that Sassword, which he'll have to be a little bit cautious of. Will actually get caught in that a little bit. 1 Cyclone, 1 Marauder. Not too much. Could be a lot worse. As Ryung pushing the front right now. We're going to see a few of these Stalkers starting to go down a sentry as well. I like Ryung's position still. I feel as though he's got the army to fight with. He's got a few Vikings in the skies. Not maybe enough to fight 2 Colossi with this amount of Stalkers underneath, but it's still something. And we're going to see the split coming up. Oh my god, these Stalkers almost moved commanding in, although I'm pretty sure they weren't moved commanding in, as we are going to die. What was that? Was that my computer again? My screens went black, so I don't know what that was. We're going to see this Fire Force coming forwards here. We're going to see these Immortals continue to push on forwards once again, and they are just going to come on in, and honestly, it's going to be way too much here, I think, as we're going to see the Colossus going down. Stalkers will fall as well, and that's going to be too much. Ryung is going to be taking game number 2, and we said it, so it does come back almost straight away. It's just obviously still very frustrating to do that, but I don't really know what it is. Like, I can't really do much about it. Alright. Anyways, hopefully we're just going to be fixed. Hopefully, I mean, we're not dropping frames or anything. It's just straight up like my PC is like losing. It's just dying for like a second. So, I don't know. Something we'll learn about. Something we'll learn about. Alright guys, top left. Blue Cross player is Creator. And to the bottom right, our red Terran player is Ryung. 1-1 in this best of 3. So, yeah, 1-1 in this best of 3. I don't know. I'm really surprised we lost so many viewers during the first sort of... I mean, I can understand if we lose a few, but we lost like... Well, it wasn't 500. It was like 300 to 400 viewers. That's a lot of viewers to lose because of a small second of stream going out and then resuming. It's pretty ridiculous. Wow. Crazy. Rip the dream. But yeah, I don't really know, guys. So hopefully it's just gonna fix. Hopefully there's not gonna be any more issues. It was very weird though, because it did happen like twice during that game, right? Yeah, very interesting. Again, I mean, it's just again, new PC, new setup. We're gonna have to learn some things, learn what the issues are, just fix them as we go. Not ideal. I mean, it's a new PC, so I mean there shouldn't be any issues, but obviously there's some. We'll just have to figure it out as things go by, as we have. Well, early on here, Reaper does pop in towards the main base, having a little bit of a look around, see what's going on. So we're just having a little bit of a look to see what's happening right now. Grenade goes down. And this probe and Adept just going to be backing away for a couple of moments there. As another Adept coming in. Yeah, not too much then early stages. It is Echo, our third map here. Again, Ryung wins this. He's confirmed first place in the group. If he doesn't win this, then he is going to be waiting to see what the other results are from Creative versus Jim and Creative versus Sleep to determine how this group is going to end up looking, which is still interesting, I think. Still a lot of different possibilities, so see how it goes. Again, whenever we finish SGL today, we'll do a few matches from the Leifeng Cup Best of 157, Best of Cup number 157, not Best of 157. Basically, we didn't cast much Leifeng Cup 157 because I was away, so we're going to do stream some of the best matches from the 157th Leifeng Cup. That's going to be coming up whenever we finish SGL. So, yeah. We're just moving around here from Ryung, just looking to see what's up and what's happening. 2 gateways are coming down the main base to make it 3 in total. This observer just having a little bit of a look around as well, so wouldn't mind. A few Marines just going to be going up towards the top left hand side and just going to be dropping in towards the main base right now, looking to see what they can get up to. It's been pretty common play from Ryung in the early stages to go for a wouldn't mind drop like this with some Marines inside as well. In the early stages to get some damage done. Stalker ready to intercept here though. And the Stalker's going to start doing a little bit of damages. Fixing a little bit of this medevac. You see this Wouldn't going to start moving forwards as well to try and get in location. And start burrowing over here. The Motion 4 taking a bit of damage as well. Shields goes down. The old Wouldn't goes off, gets a couple of workers. 5 workers killed in total so far. We also have the Wouldn't in the natural picking off a couple probes. So some good damage altogether as 5 workers killed, gets out with the medevac. Pretty nice. And we're just going to be seeing this medevac again, looking to see what else is happening. As we're going to be seeing this Liberator getting into position as well. This Liberator going to be coming in towards the Liberator going to be coming in, just going to be setting up on towards the natural expansion. Wouldn't mind again in the natural. I don't know if Creator just forgot about that, just hasn't had a chance to do much about it yet. Anyway, this Liberator is going to siege up and could have target fired probes there. If he target fired probes, he would have got 3 more kills. Instead, he gets the Stalker and half the Stalker's health. Not really ideal. Could have been a lot better, honestly, as we see 2 medevacs continue to come on up, and as the game stabilizes, Creator will just move in towards a 3rd base. Still ahead in army supply. Back home, Ryung is going to add on a 3rd CC of his own. His Sim and combat shields on the way up, so getting those upgrades ready to roll. So continue to set up into this, and yeah. Cool, SCVs just going to set out the front. We're going to see some more Stalkers moving forwards. I mean, they do have Blink now, right? So if they have Blink, then definitely possibility to get in here and get a little bit of damage done. So we're definitely going to shade on forwards to begin with. SCV going down, and there we go. Stalkers getting rid of a bunker at the front already. Marines starting to fight against these Stalkers. Stalkers starting to blink back one at a time. The SCV is going down. Now we're going to be seeing these Stalkers trying to pick up a medevac. Just doesn't have enough to get rid of one of those, though. Very unfortunate. As we're going to be seeing those Stalkers still just sat down to the low ground, so we're just going to see those Stalkers just blinking away. I mean, nice little bit of pressure though. Kills off an Elliot medevac, but I mean, again, just nice trades. If he doesn't lose any Stalkers, then of course it's free for him, so it's nice little bits and pieces. Now we're going to see this turret just coming up on the natural expansion. You're going to see these few Stalkers going to start dropping in behind this mineral line. We'll see one SCV going down, another SCV going to go down as well, 3rd SCV. Again, just nice little bits of harassment here, and just keeping Ryung on 2 bases, maybe making him think twice before moving his 3rd base into location. More racks continue to come up as well, and again, just another upgrade. That's one thing actually Ryung does have an advantage. He's got +1 attack, and well, our pros player starts that up now, but Ryung will maintain a +1 advantage this time in the plus armor eventually, though. We'll see those few units dropping in once again. We'll see this SCV going down. A few Marauders and Marines going to move forwards here, and again, just deal a little bit of damage, trade out a little bit at this point. More Prism going to be moving back over to the left-hand side here as this Observer again just looking forward to see what's up. I'm just going to be seeing these couple Marauders. Going to stem forwards as well to try and help defend this. It's really frustrating actually, right? Watching this, like, this little bit of harassment from the War Prism is just doing so much, forcing so much out of the Terran player. This time it was them units from the main base that had to go and defend because Ryung is going to be going up the right side of the map. Heading towards the top left-hand side for your base with 3 medevacs units. He successfully sort of dodged around the War Prism, but I mean, the main army of Creator is here anyways, so it's not like he can do too much anyways, I don't think. And as we're going to be seeing those units gathering together, and well, here we go, Marines, Marauders, and medevacs all together right now, going to be looking to see what's going to be going on as they stem forward. We're going to see a pylon. Going to be getting taken down. We're just going to be seeing sentries gathering together as well. Colossus is joining up too, and facing the Warpers are actually going to be intercepted in the middle of the map here. Not sure about that. I mean, I feel as though Creator should have seen this army already by now, so he should have had a rough idea of where it was. Medivacs will be able to boost away, and he will be able to save a bunch of this, so he's going to be able to gather again. And then just Ryung's gathering and gather on this bottom right hand side. 1-1 upgrades right now from Ryung, and he's going to be again that +1 armor up at this point, so just going to be seeing these units kind of position around 2 Liberators, and I guess again he might start to head in towards now the kind of Vikings instead because Colossi are on the way. On armory, very late armory though actually, so he will not get to 2 as fast as he should do. So he's going to be missing out on his upgrades a little bit, and he will throw away a little bit of this upgrade advantage. There's more units gathering together from Ryung, just moving forwards and looking to see what he can get done. The Liberator is going to see jump by, of course he's going to start working their way through these rocks. Rocks starting to take quite a lot of damage here actually, going to be going all the way down. The rocks are killed off, and a couple of Vikings trying to do a little bit against 1 or 2 Colossi already. Maybe a little bit overzealous. Stalkers moving around as well with these Adepts and the Colossi, and again just looking to see what they can do. Marine getting picked off there, another Marine too. And all of these units are going to go back down. The left hand side just a little bit here, and a couple more Marines cleaned out. And Creator just continuing to see what else is up. 2 upgrades for our Terran finally on the way. Again, that was a little bit late coming in, I feel, a little bit of this. Could have been a little bit sooner, as we see Templar Archives is on the way up as well. Now Ghost Academy has a response, and we're getting into a very similar game as Daybreak was. Again, these maps really do kind of promote long drawn-out games where it's very difficult to engage, very easy to take bases and defend bases, and promote, go into kind of the longer game, I guess. You can see these Vikings just gathering up together. A couple of probes picked off. Liberator in position now in this Fed base. And oh my god, the Stalkers can't reach it. Oh, they can. They were just on move command. Well, a little bit of a mistake there. 4th base will be spotted. That won't last very long at all. 2 pylons will go down swiftly. Base is cancelled before he even gets a shot off onto the Nexus. Creator knows that he's got no real kind of right to stick around with that. He knows he just has to cancel it as he'll just Ryung move down the right hand side. Join everything up together once again, and just these Vikings all joining up, so lots of Vikings join up together, and more units gathering up towards the 4th base also. Psionic Storm is about halfway done at this point. We're just going to be seeing these few Stalkers and few High Templar still joining up together. Storm, as it finishes, will give the Protoss, of course, a whole bunch of new opportunities as to how he can play this out. As the Ghosts come into play for our Terran play, I mean, that's going to be his counter to the High Templar, to the Storms. As we're just going to be seeing the army continue to come up the left-hand side. So Ryung just positioning again. I mean, I love what he's doing. He's trying to stay out of vision of the Protoss player so that when the Protoss is slightly out of position, he can maybe attack in and take a better position to then take an engagement from. Knowing that he's been struggling in kind of straight-up fights for the most part, apart from, I mean, I say Game 2, because in Game 2 he just sort of took a straight-up fight at the very end, and then he sort of just won the game, but, he'd already taken advantage from sniping Blink, doing good damage with drops, and so on. In this game it's very even, and, from these sort of positions, he hasn't just been straight-up winning games, right? It's been about the harassment, so this is what he's doing. He waits for his opponent to move out, gets a better position, forces the opponent to react as well, because he knows now his opponent wants to come in and defend this base, right? So his opponent's sort of forced into fighting here, into EMPs, into Vikings, which are pre-split. It's not a great position. There's the EMPs lavering onto that army. Look at all those Adepts and Immortals, especially, which lose the shields. That's really huge. There's so much tankiness taken out of this. There's just a few Marauders left up on the high ground to deal a bit more damage. The Vikings are going to be looking to try and pick off that Colossus while it's out of position here. Big stim forwards to the right-hand side. The MPs are going to be looking for damage once again, as you can see the Terran army is essentially just fighting half this Protoss army at a time. Ryung taking a great position here. Cleans out another Archon. We'll back away a little bit right now, knowing that he has way too many Vikings probably. As we'll see, the swap coming in from Creator. Actually going to be Disruptors on the way out. Smart choice. You think about it, he sees there's a lot more Vikings than is needed. He realizes if he makes 1 or 2 Colossi, they're just going to die instantly again. And so instead he says, well, how can I minimize the effectiveness of my opponent's army? Making Disruptors is going to make my army super effective. He doesn't have an answer for Disruptors necessarily. I mean, the answer to Disruptors is splitting. But Disruptors are a much better choice than Colossi now because of how many Vikings are left over in this position. You can make Colossi again later once he kills these Vikings, but until then, it doesn't really make sense for him to remake Colossi, which are already countered by something on the map. So, very kind of smart play by Creator. Love the choice to go Disruptors here. He's going to move now a 4th base into location. Ryung will And Ryung is still taking good fights. I like the way he's been positioning. There's extra medevacs now coming out to help him heal up a little bit. He needs to get some medevacs on this army to the left side because that's very bruised and battered at this point in time. So he really needs to get that out. All those healed up just to help himself out here. And then he is just going to be gathering up together. Stalkers, Adepts, Immortals, High Templar. These two Disruptors as well, all joining up and looking to see what they can do as in this Bio Force. Just going to keep on gathered up as we're going to see 4 Liberators on the way out. So 4 more Liberators coming in right now as we see these medevacs going up the left-hand side. Adept Stalkers. A couple of Immortals as well. Looking to see what they can do. Bio Force is starting to clean out this these rocks here, so starting to do a little bit of damage. Let's see, a scan gets rid of an observer. A few workers going down across the map, some SCVs being picked off by, I guess, just Adepts. I'm not sure what happened there. I couldn't actually find the Adepts at all, so I guess just Adepts were shaded away or got killed off before we got back over there to see. So a little bit of damage in Munich scan, both players just picking away at each other, trying to do some damage before taking the larger fight. And then, hoping that the damage they've done leads to a victory in the larger fights. Or if not in the if not directly, then in terms of recovering from the larger fights. So, I mean, they know there's going to have to be a larger fight at some point. Very difficult to end this game without a kind of larger fight doing this at some point, as we see. Again, just a couple of Adepts over here, 3 more workers going down, but nothing too major. A little bit of bio attack forwards here and overcharge with Storm. Will be enough to defend this. Ryung will stim his Marauders around him. Even if he picks off a pylon or 2, it's still just a little bit of a nuisance. It's still something for Creator to think about now. We're going to be seeing him naturally does hit supply, but because of this, the Liberators are sieging up as Disruptor Shot comes in. Another Disruptor Shot 2 will grab just a couple Marauders. So many Disruptors available. It just slows the Terran down so much in terms of being able to fight on forwards and really be able to do much at all. Vikings, I mean, they don't want to land because they're very immobile on the ground, and being immobile on the ground means they're just going to die against Disruptors. Pulling back again. Disruptors starting to do a little bit of damage. Liberators are doing a decent amount now as well, but he really needs to use these Vikings for something. I mean, I know he doesn't want to put them on the ground, but he almost just has to, and he does land them now because they're not doing anything in the skies, so he has to do something with them. And even if they just tank a little bit of damage at this point, that would be a fantastic way to go about things, as we see He's just gathering up towards this base, the right side here. Marauders are still around. These 2 Marauders, or 4 Marauders, have done so much. DT gets warped in to help out with this. Depth currently blocking this base up here. Oh my god, our fourth player goes in towards the fight here in the center, and he is going to take a pretty good fight. Cleans up so much of this army. A couple of storms, a couple of disrupt shots to initiate, and he just gives him a good chunk of momentum to work for, to really work with now. So has a good amount of momentum to work with, and as you can see, Creator just keeps on pushing forwards with it. Honestly, I think Ryung's in a little bit of trouble here. Disruptors chasing this army away. Planetary Force might be a little bit of a nuisance over here. Oh, just doesn't quite connect there. Planetary goes down so you can continue to pick off these SCVs, fight in this location. And this is just way too much for Creator, I think. Although that said, he's being maybe a little bit over-aggressive. Ryung GG's. I sort of thought maybe Ryung could hold